My timeline involves just kind of being in purgatory, but I didn't die. It's kind of weird. And it feels like that, um, for whatever reason, I took it on because it just seems like that I was rendered up alone enough, but really what happened was is that I was handling or being handled by people that put me there, kind of a thing. Like, that they had, well, we would clash. I've talked about this before where there is a difference, and then, see, that's not so much the problem that I would have personally. I've always noticed that we were different. Like, whoever it was, we have differences, right? The part that I would say that begins to be a problem for me, but for both of us, really, whoever cares to stay, in touch or in contact or working together. I don't know. I mean, if you can work together, see, if you start clashing, then maybe you can't work together, but then see, but yeah, and then so somebody like me, a lot of times it does have to do with working on something. And yeah, my Venus in Virgo, I'm kind of picky, and I like to go for what works, like what sells or what really catches the attention, right? And usually that's what sells, or somebody would pay, right? So getting back to that phenomena of experiencing the clashing too much to where, okay, so being put in purgatory over it by people that they they aren't being responsible very much, say, as far as reflecting towards themselves, I guess, that, like, well, what can we adjust? See, it's not always up to me. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not always up to me or you to adjust when somebody isn't aware that you're clashing, and that right? And now I come to the stupid subject matter of levels, like there's levels. Like, of course, somebody knows something more than you, or is more accomplished about something more than you. And I'm somebody who goes generally, and I like to say, well, because it's so detailed, right, of whatever, and who knows what I'm talking about, but a lot of times you're following and you're like, well, sure, we'll like this one, maybe. Thanks for the likes and subscribed. It's sad though, because it's like, I don't know, some videos I'm a lot more calmer, and I'm actually trying to get a potent point across, and I will. But people don't like those videos, but they like the ones where I'm more like agitated and even speaking down on you guys or something. I don't know, or even, well, the subject matter of women needing to take control of every bit of civilization, because they're the ones who bring it in or out. And having said that, there's this overlay, right, of the system, this financial problem. I see it's impossible. Not because it's money and that we're relying on it. No, what's behind it? Now, let's open up the Epstein files, which it's not about Epstein and all of these different people that are sucked into it. It's about an ages-old, very powerful presence on this plane that has, in fact, hijacked all of the things that human beings could grab onto and start saying, now let's create a human civilization. Right now we have a non-human civilization. And look at how many, there are so many that are, in fact, worldwide renowned psychologists say that after the COVID-19 announcement, it jacked up to like 92% of people who are just rendered up little narcissists because, well, it's just a survival mode, and right, there's certain traits that all of us would have if when we're rendered up into constant survival mode. It's the little toddler's method of manipulation and game playing and all this stuff, and they're very, but see, the problem with malignant cases is that they're non-self-reflecting, so they are like the fully encapsulated mind, and they don't even have a locative awareness about like their literal body in space, and stuff. So they could be very clumsy. Literally, they could be very accident prone, and they get a little whipping from the truth in reality, such as it could be just the coffee table that they bump into, or some other major thing that can happen that just is the universe saying, you know what, you need to pay attention more, because, well, who knows what kind of situations are happening between the people and them, right? A lot of times, some people, right, you just, I don't know, they're always spaced out or something. See, the thing is I don't hang around people that much. I love people. But since things have gotten kind of weird, don't you agree? I mean, isn't it, when I remember I said I'm privileged or something like that. What I mean is like, you are privileged if you can somehow, if you find yourself, I mean, away from being able to stay away from people. I don't know. I'm just very, I've been put off by them lately. I'm an Aries rising at 6 degrees, and I've desperately tried to keep my space because I feel like I'm going through something that is really important. As far as my creative life, and this, I'm speaking for all of humanity who has Aries, and that's everybody. You have Aries somewhere. But see, Aries, early degree, we are experiencing a hell of a time of really rising up and doing so with a kind of a structure that is very powerful because it's kind of in our corner. Saturn is. It's not so much that it's a blind, like, punishment or something. There's something very difficult that we are experiencing, and I'm talking for all of humanity, that has everything to do with this diabolical presence that we're all having to handle, right? I mean, within your family unit, maybe you work with some diabolical people, maybe you're just noticing it. My God, I don't know. I mean, what the hell? I think that the efforts of churches and stuff was to try and just say, hey man, excuse me, but there's something weird going on. I kind of see that there is an effort to try and help people. That there's just like well, yeah, time's out. If you did notice, then we have relief over here for you in the form of even better than your non-perishable people over there, whatever they're doing. It's like we got non-perishables at the church. Will you please? Ends up that all of that stuff, right? It is just, oh God, if you were at all awake and like a human being, man, where did you go? I mean, it's pretty tough, right? If you're anything like me, you realize you're just surrounded and sandwiched in between ugly and nasty people, and they seem to love it. You can't give them any fucking energy about like how disturbed you are about them, because see, that's the sociopath, the narcissistic sociopath. Ugh, just the sociopath in general, they like it. They are fucking happy now that they have just they are hooked up those electrodes, and now, in case you're squirming, especially if you're squirming, they don't like you to calm and collected. They want you to be squirming and miserable because I don't know, they are too. See, that's what I don't like about any of this life, right? Like right now, I have to somehow get my shit together and make all of this, including myself, work for me by going and exposing myself well, first of all, yeah, I call it the world condensed where I am at, but I could be a little bit too phobic because of how my past experiences have been, especially romantically. But I'm not even interested in that, unfortunately. And that's like, leave it to toxic, really, people that are just functioning this way that, you know, they don't know how good it can be, but they're happy with how horrible they've made it or something. And I don't know. I don't know. But as an Aries, and I speak for a lot of us, all of humanity, it's so important to be able to get away from people that aren't that organized in their head or something. I don't know. See, I I'm in a very tedious time, and I'm having to let go of a lot. My bills are overdue, right? I mean, I guess it's been worse, but I don't want it to get. No, it hasn't been this bad as far as this one thing going on with my taxes is weird, right? And everybody has that problem. See, I'm trying to work it out as. How do you like this conversation? 12 minutes. I'm trying to work it out as. No, no, it's not working. Me working it out as something is trying to tell me that, and I think the window of time is 4 years because that's how long it's going to take for the diabolical, the ones that are really playing fair. See, that's how much time that the Galactic Federation, or whatever you want to call it, is allowing. But now let me tell you what is going on precisely that I see is that it's kind of too late, and you have to get out of the cities and places, pardon me, where it's just it's too late for a population that has cameras set up all over the place, the intersections everywhere, right? It's the big thing to have. Even the officers are wearing a camera, and it's like, really? Well, can we witness them gaslighting the fucking shit out of everything? Really? I mean, really? And you need to know, really, as a people, I don't know, being held captive. I would love to explain to you. I mean, is this a huge entrance or what? But see, this is what I really wanted to talk about is that people don't know that, okay, so the civilization that you see that is trash, that starts, well, in the West here, in the United States, it starts with New York City, right? And then it started building up, and then it goes to Hawaii, right? But now, with that, babes, don't you see that there's a technological base that is spreading that is like way beyond this story that they're telling about the fucking Christopher Columbus and shit? Oh, God. And by the way, well, just stories, stories. And so people don't realize that what we see right now that are playing with these toys basically are just, is being kept in a pin. And there are more people that are non-self-reflecting, like I was trying to say. The psychologists say that, oh, it's 92% now who have this problem of being uh, dislocative of reality. I mean, there's a certain percentage who are helpable, but do they ever get the help? Because who has helped themselves enough to be able to be the help? But in fact, there are. But in fact, how scarce it feels like it really is today, right now, as I speak. This is February 26, 2026, kind of a magical little date there. And no, see, with the split thing, we have, like, we see very clearly the worst of the worst, right? And then the best of the best kind of thing. And, oh yeah, it could be right under your roof. Or, right? And that's a horrible situation where there's somebody being tortured. There's somebody who's just plain old a little bit more intelligent and actually capable, but they are looked at as the worst one because they're outnumbered by a bunch of fucking assholes. That's very common. Oh, but then, I mean, if you're not that unfortunate, how about, oh, just in your neighborhood? Yeah, it's just, that's what I was kind of talking about, the checkerboard society. But now this scenario that I'm talking about, see, I'm an Aquarius moon, and this is kind of what we're looking at. And in the Aquarius age, with, well, Pluto going through there. I mean, now I'm just slapping some astrology over, but that's what astrology can do for us. Is like it can point at it, like, ooh, what's going to happen when good old Pluto stays in there for 20 years? Pluto is asking for bullshit to try and withstand some blows, kind of like the big bad wolf comes through and says, well, what are you made of? Horse shit or truth? And a lot of people are just going to singe, right? They're just going to go, well, I'm made of paper. I didn't even know that I'm a being instead of that I was a paper. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like. And so having said that, a lot is going to change over the next 20 years with Pluto. I mean, it's going to change so rapidly. And see, this is the whole purpose, though, which is interesting that I can see, um, is that there's evolution taking place. And a lot of people don't know really what that involves or entails. But I would love to get into it more, because a lot of it is very uncomfortable as far as the amount of trash that develops. Okay, so inside of a studio, okay, like you're working on pieces, and there's a masterpiece, right? And that's, in evolution, you would reach a plateau where now there's the self-reflecting human, perhaps, or the piece of art is now a certain quality. And it's just really hard to explain this, to compare it, but as the artist is working to get that plateau and more polished off potential, which it doesn't stop there, because the potential is now going to reach another plateau, which is a whole other realm, but it couldn't get there unless it had hit evolution. So, just sorry, the analogy is that the artist is tearing through a lot of material, just to get to the right one masterpiece to put on the shelf to say, just like this, you guys, and you guys aren't passing unless that, right? As far as the college course that you take to make paper mache or whatever like this. And so it can get pretty elaborate, right? And beautiful and everything like that. And but now I'm reminded to just say it's so self-explanatory when it comes to art. But see, there's a standard, and which is something that you can't fool the kids with. That, you know, most of them are interested anyway. God, this fucking. See, I just see that humanity needs more people, apertures, to rise up and be all they can possibly be, without a stencil or anything, but just to say, or see, like a good storyteller, or that points at. See, words can only point at an experience that you're having, or a good experience people that give experience to other people, real live experiences though. So, but now see, like, where does all that go? What's going on now? I mean, there's such a weird. I am in such a weird place. I don't know where you guys are. Let me know where you are stationed in the global um, population here. But they did a lot of social experimenting near where I'm at. I live in the mountains, and then there's surrounding cities, and it's so strange. Like just not even 100 years ago, more like 70, there was a certain kind of culture that was based in, just agriculture, but it was considered wealthy. It's just, to me, it's just what. See, there's a system that controls the money that basically, I was going to say, it fools people into believing and thinking all kinds of stuff, and you know that. And so, at one point, we can see how they would set up things that looks, and everybody is being fueled very well. Like the doctors, there was a better relationship between the patient and the doctor, and that was until 1930, and stuff like that, right? You can just, I was trying to tell you in the beginning, this is so hard to talk about, that the controllers like Rockefellers, Rothschilds, and a few other people are always tightening up. See, they are also, see, those people are being driven by something in the background that enables them to be what they are and do what they do, and they are not human. Not at all. Okay? They are spiritually possessed. That's one thing to talk about. And that's why the money that you're handling, all of you, the money that I'm trying to get from you when I say please donate, fuck no, man. It loves to, it is holographically, it's hard to explain, but see, because it's really based in belief, right? Pardon me, we'll have to take this off. Fire in the background. And it's hooked in. It's created a holographic field of misery. Down to like how people look where I'm at. It's like, okay, so why do people look so miserable? Sorry. Really? I'm not excluded. See, I'm pretty sure I was supposed to be a certain way, but then now I'm opposite. It could be, if you're anything like me, if you've noticed it, that's what the fuck, that the fucking money is hooked up. This thing that you're striving for in life, and by the way, nobody is striving for it. You're just exposed to it. Nobody has an ambition to be all materialistic about cars and houses. Not really. No, I bet you anything that you can trace that back. It's like, no, the mind wants a certain thing, and then some fucking mischievous thing said, let's just hook that quality of mine into this rat race over here. Let's just make it think that, oh, it's just, progress is happening. The latest of the latest is this plastic shit that doesn't last. Come on, think with me a little bit. I swear, you guys, see, it's scary. It really is. Pretty soon you're like, you know what? You're just going to go to the courthouse and say, yeah, what else? I don't have much time here. I mean, I do, but I don't. You people are like a flash in the fucking pan. I feel like I'm moving in slow motion. It's like, oh yeah, okay, I gotta wait. Right? This is fucking Aries right here. Because some of us, indeed, some of us, Aries, early degree, especially the rising sign, I would say the moon sign for sure. I can't even imagine the moon sign. Whew. Talk about turning into a psychic fucking medium. Telepathic, intuitive, man. I mean, just out of this fucking world. And it's only a week. You know what I mean? I got such downloads about some things. It is so. The main thing is I feel so disappointed, and it's so easy, but we are all working under siege. I mean, we are in a fucking pit. that was made by these people that are like, yeah, money, huh? What's that for? God, we trust, huh? Oh, yeah. And so whatever it is that could possibly work as far as evolution was concerned, to get us out into outer space and functioning like equally like aware of how valuable each one's perspective is and stuff like that. Oh, see, this kind of talk is just, it's so important. And to think that there's a bunch of idiots doing money that are like, oh, I'll steal that, and they're not selling it, and it's like, whatever. Especially the part when I start talking to you about the benevolence that is communicating a eternal, like timeless message. It is remarkable, and it tunes you into the fact that this realm right here, babes, if you're watching it, if you're watching me and you have to get up and to go use a commode in the morning, the world that you see is completely, um, as you know, it's fake, contrived, but it's predetermined. It's hard to explain. I guess it's because I'm a musician and I can see patterning and I can know how the certain vibrations and materials would work or something. But what I mean is, oh, it's a loop job and a half. Do you not realize it? I mean, oh my God, I don't know why I can see it so clearly now. And you guys are probably like, you could say no, 2%. Yeah, of course, I know, I see it, how that everybody votes for presidencies and it goes this way and that way, right, and left, right, and people are actually, I, the Aries is like, some people are so much more advanced than that right now. I just, it gets to be 3 in the morning, and it's the most beautiful time, right? You know that because everybody is kind of not running the gauntlet, the gear, the money gear that is this holographic field. I guess is the best way I can explain it. But no, there's people, and it's like this, but no, they're wearing a mask, man. They're absolutely, man, it's miserable. Nobody's really experiencing success out there. Otherwise, it would be such a more beautiful feeling place, right? It's just a fucking business as usual uh, warring that eventually, babes, yes, because of the background, what is tinkering with the money systems, all of it. I'm trying to make you aware, especially the United States, 100% it is a fucking pig pen. Oh, I can't believe it. I like the vibration of it is like how many fucking people are I'm sorry, it's just none of my business and fine, good fucking for you, fucking people. Babes, if you were at all like compassionate, you would never have kids into this vibration. What the fuck are those people doing? The women that dare do it. I mean, it's none of my business how God wants to take care of it through the children. I understand that. And I do see, no, I admit, I do see some extremely advanced beings, right? It's just, but it just sticks out more and more that no, little children they have their own language that they're born with and they communicate with amongst themselves. They're very social, right? But this is just being human. And, how much of that is known by these fucking selfish people that say, I'm having a baby? And it's like, no, you're having a potential human there. I mean, it's there. Sorry, but see, it's well known that people called narcissists, I guess, see, they get along with toddlers best. And then they start growing, they start having trouble with their own kids around about when they get up above the age of toddler is more like 3 or 4 or 5. And then it's just a big like, ah, fuck that kid, man, because the kid is like no longer like so handicapped that it's that dependent, and it's trying to get its own mind on, and it will start arguing, And what are you going to do? Just keep beating it? I mean, I don't know. You can stunt the damn kid. I've seen it around me all the time. And it happens around me that a kid will say, like they just feel like they have a little bit more space and leeway to do something, and they do. I'm not hindering them of any. I'm not limiting them. I'm not. It's their parents that do it, and so. But I can see that they try and take the leash off energetically right away, and it's weird. I have that effect on them. I was a kid once, and I will be a kid forever. I'm fucking 6 Aries rising, and I guess that's the problem I'm having right now too. It's like, okay, so I'm 51, and I'm supposed to be an adult, but I'm actually looking at a bunch of very, very troubled adult, little toddlers in big bodies that just are playing so. Ew! It's like, okay, so how do I hurry up and cash my chips in and disappear somehow? But no, I know damn well that this is just the climate of the many, and I know how to. Believe me, pray for me that I can get a stupid job that I can see. It's like Harley. All I need to make is $400 a month, and I don't like that money system so much that I can't even do that. I mean, I'm very much allergic to it. I'm just like, okay, see, isn't that weird? I am on government assistance right now. I'm so grateful for all that. No, I'm hanging on. I just so fucking hanging on by my chinny chin chin. Like, see, the people around me are playing the classic, fucking the game of the goddamn diabolical background. See, I know this is so difficult because I know that there's a way to get to the $333 trillion that Mark Zuckerberg and all these assholes, they have to, by intergalactic law, with the equipment that comes up that fucking shines on everybody, they have to announce, we have this money, and what I've heard so far is they're trying to get AI to interface somehow so that you can have some of it. And it's really that, are you ever going to figure it out? See, and yeah, we can figure it out. You get downloads and you figure some things out. See, the goal of the malevolence, who hijacks everything. How do you like the sci-fi film? Hi, Nancy. You only wish it was sci-fi, right? The goal is to create such a distraction that hardly a single person can raise up and go, no, I kind of see that there's a language inside the language, and that's simple. Now, why did it call it iPhone? That's my phone. Chink. And see, but no, it can be figured out by people that kind of know of the ancient wisdom and knowledge, and just a tiny bit. Like something like this. Well, our third eyes do open, and it does open up into an interdimensional realm, not just 3D, but the real spectrum. I mean, it's so fucking absolutely multidimensional. If you want to talk about the possibility of each and every one, like owning their own universe, and then like kind of touching the creation or creational field or whatever it is, like it's just like I got a vision of how the water, it turns into your vibration practically. You look at it, right? And so the one that works the best, which is love, is going to be able to be a fucking entire universe. And why not? I would like to experience a better bliss than being cut off from it, that's for sure. And boy, this planet seems to be cut off. I mean, welcome to fucking planet disconnects, running around, a bunch of cutoffs. I don't know, babes. I don't like it. I think it's so fucking strange. I really do. It's fucking weird. And I've heard some other people talking about like that. And it's like, well, what's going to become of us? What goes on with us, man? We just cannot get into it. We can't just keep entertaining ourselves with the loop job that's out there. Really? Okay, so it's made for just a few. Okay, so who goes to Disneyland still? I don't know. I think it's a matter of spiritual maturity or evolvement too. Just like I was saying in the beginning, babes, I don't think very much. This is a place of, unfortunately, the artists' trash can are filling up in the studio. It's like, no, that's not going to make it. No, it's not going to make it, and that's not making it. Only a few are actually making it into the ideal to where they can actually say, oh, I get it. They can figure something out. They can figure, well, all right, now that I have the $333 trillion and I got rid of that civilization that keeps poking its head up saying, ah, we're here, and we have mind controlled all of your most favorite celebrities in front of the TV, babe. You think you just think with me, back yourself up a little bit. You hasn't been here very long. And the technological base that is allowing that information to spread globally is doing what it's supposed to do. Intergalactically, it's saying, no, you have to tell these people where and what is happening to their intellectual property, which includes their own flesh and blood. Now getting back to how overpopulated it is, that's the distraction service out there that says, well, the church, once upon a time. I keep repeating myself, but it needs to be known. You need to think about why things look the way they do. It's a totally different historical thing. It's manipulation of the organism that is very like simple and scientific. I mean, it's not nothing like we're struggling here. Nah, people were observing the high, big time tech spaceships, you know, that can defy gravity thousands and thousands of years ago. That's what the caves are depicting. Some of the that are left and over there in Aztecian and Peru, and just a very small little museums that are left. That if we're not careful, they'll all be wiped out. See, what I'm expressing over the last 8 videos is that there's a higher consciousness that allows these things to just happen. We don't care if it's a fucking styrofoam version of a but really the truth is no, they use like the 3D printers that can reestablish a planet intergalactically. Just move them on in, and it zones in on either what it used last time. Here on the Earth, it's what it used last time. I'm sitting on ruins that all it needs to be is just burned and then washed and then re bloop 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 up the material, as well as see the machinery that would pull quartz crystals one way, the metals this way. They do that just that's what's happening. And well, up here where I live, there is a rock, and I was thinking about today about like, oh, if you went there and tried to chisel it off, it's already kind of burned through, but it'd be cool to try to just chisel it off. It'll just show through. I mean, it's there. You can look at it. It'll change your mind forever. If you ever looked at it and had the capability of thinking a little bit, like if you really observe, like it's the power of observation. You're curious. You want to know, well, how and what am I looking at? Otherwise, you're just, I don't know, you're eating a hot dog and you're just sucking on the Kool-Aid and you're like, when do I get back to my fucking chair and my cell phone? That's terrible because that's exactly what's going on with most of the population. Well, fuck! I hate to tell you, babes, but anyway, it's none of my business, I guess. None of anybody's business. Some people, some people will do some representing and other people won't. Representing what? Oh my God, man, we can't watch the possibility. What I'm trying to express is probably not being expressed enough. Is when they open the Epstein files with the level of technology that we have right now, sorry, there's an ant crawling right there, that gets everybody riled up. They're doing that very specifically so that to see, they want to speed up evolution. They want a humane society to rise up. But see, here's the problem, is that that malefic force has made it so that there are too many. Oh no, the backdrop out there, none of them are human. It is miserable for whatever is human. What are we going to do? I know what I need to do and I have to do. And it's really vital that this is the main thing when you're turned into a channel and you're looking at this. What I'm looking at is fucking top secret, but it's like nobody's taking me seriously, right? Fucking ants. What's going on? Is there fucking a freeway of ants going across my computer? And that's fine as far as that misunderstanding, but no, in fact, I'm being attacked. No, it's not a coincidence. Right away, I fucking was stalked upon, sat on. It has so much more to do with my rite of passage that, well, it's time for me to get a partner because I have something to do with my assets and I would love to share it. No, it's so much more than that. I've had to put a couple people or more, I don't know, I don't like to do it, but you put them in spiritual imprisonment. It's just, who wants to do that? I thought I was coming here to have a jolly good old time, and in fact, if we don't start having a jolly good old time, we're doing it wrong, and we're never going to win the so-called spiritual warfare. Yeah, I experience it here. It's like that's what I'm doing here. Is like, well, no. See, I would like to tell you of how tough it is for me, but no, I'm an Aries rising, and do not wait for me to lay down and die properly for you. No, no, and see that's what's really hard about us asking for help, because it's like people just look, well, they seem to be sitting upright. It looks like their hair's all right too, and it's like, we're not going to lay face down for you. We're facing something that you would have fucking just died, but we're still looking resilient. We are working the front lines for you, the Aries people, especially the early degree, but all Aries. There's a place in you right now that is still, babes, right now, okay, February 26th. It's not Aries season yet. Mercury going retrograde in Pisces, Neptune ruled. It's just still sleep time, man. It's still just wait. It's still just wait a minute. And that's a vulnerable time. It's a vulnerable passage. It's like a pivoting point right now. And that's where I'm like, oh God, okay, so no, it's really tough because I'm looking at my chalkboard over there, and I know that just it's so weird. I'm asking myself just lately, just 2 days ago, it's like I have to find out what it is I'm looking at. No, what I'm looking at is very real. Why did they put the I down and call it iPhone? Yeah, see, it might always be that this certain extraterrestrial is contributing in a certain way, that it's just necessary to have those kinds of that kind of setup where this one kind of humanoid handles a certain layer. That's what terrestrial means. And the problem is that the organism, which is indeed a technology that you call human, but no, there's a non-human. There's non-humans that have to be converted, in fact. That's what the narcissist is. That's okay, we're pretty sure that the male side is not born human. Not at all. They are not born woman, that's for sure. They are, even though they are born from the woman into the woman's world, they are totally, in fact, they are not near any of the resonances or vibrational frequencies that they can't get installed with the man's vibrational frequency there. They have to search for it. And that's the part where I'm pretty sure we're looking at a so-called religion, or a kind of like, it's a patterning that says, well, you must seek the master, seek blah blah blah, and you'll see that. But it's like when men start talking about it, it's like, well, have you sought? Have you found that chick? And if so, tell us, what did you learn? It's just basic. Well, this is the way you do it. This is the way you keep a smile on her face, in case that was the vibrational frequency we wanted to hit as a civilization, because civilization comes through that person. I mean, how fucking basic can we start talking about it? Like, how straightforward and cut and dry do we need to make it? Because people don't think on their own at all. Well, how can they when they're being quarantined out by the enemy? Yeah, the Rockefellers. I'm trying to tell you about that 300-year-old civilization that everybody's wrapped up in it right now. They're like, wow, it never worked out. It is such a loop job. Can we fucking get up out of it? And I say yes, but it's not going to look good. Nope. Because a lot of people are like, we out with the loop job, right? They're like, we, and it's like, we're going to take their fucking wee away. But the problem is see, that wee, babes, has been just completely an insult to a lot of fucking souls here that are trying to grow up. Right to date, it is the biggest insult to those who are spiritually grown up, emotionally more advanced, like you say, and mentally more capable, kind of a thing, perhaps, maybe even physically, right? I don't know about you, but around where I'm at, just going down and experiencing what's going on. See, I was trying to tell you, it's definitely, no, it's an experiment, and that's what everywhere is. They are laughing at drudging places up that were once like people living in intention. At least they had this programming or idea that they were to live a certain way and do a certain thing every day that contributed back, say, like the farming and horticulture or agriculture or something like that. Now it's just those lands are empty, and what's walking around it, and oh my God, the homelessness and stuff is just, okay, something is going to snap. And I say, oh yeah, watch out, man. I don't doubt that. See, we don't doubt that all that kidnapping and stuff that's going on there, it's so much more worse than you could ever dream of. And there's where it's like, okay, and so I'm going to stress this to you. If you heard anything, you should hear this. If you don't bother to go to the courthouse and just take your mask off and say, no, this sucks. Are you kidding me? My kids don't even know how much I struggle. I try to make it look like I'm really doing it, but no. Stop bullshitting yourself. Go over there and say, I can't live this bullshit life anymore. No way, this is weird. What do you need to do? Take mushrooms? And just go over there and say, wow, yeah, I guess I have time as long as I can take a bus. And see, people think that protesting in front of the city hall, no, you have to go put yourself on the calendar and just fucking flood the courthouses and say, does this mic hook into one major mic? Because I want to know where the fuck Mike is. I want to talk to Mike right now. Okay? Really, it can happen for us. Okay? It can happen for us. It can. In fact, it's kind of waiting. It's like, will they ever figure out the fucking slots and just hit it? Well, it's time. We don't have much time because they can collapse the economy, saying that basically these are a bunch of stupid people. Yeah. And they don't know how to govern themselves into an economy that is just of sense. Talking about if only 45 human beings actually did finally get $333 trillion back, they can just, okay, like now how that you hear that some people supposedly are being fired or they're just saying fuck this job because they're like, I didn't know I worked for a bunch of child eating whatever, I don't know, I just wanted to grab the mic and see, stuff is going on like that, like so no, we can just say stop all of that. We have a very exciting thing happening for the children now, and you get the sense that it was like this before. You know, like they talk about the dinosaur age, and that was kind of like, ugh. You get the sense it was cold-blooded, stinky, messy, lizards. But then they never talk about like the age after that. It kind of flashed was the fuzzy animal age, right? There's some other name they call it. So pardon my ignorance. Let me know. But literally, there were fuzzy animals everywhere. It wasn't so, and it was just like more like, oh, and the birds were like do 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 do, and it was like so cool cool cool, and everything's so fuzzy, and even the elephants were really hairy, and maybe even it was just maybe like very very harmonious, and maybe there was a civilization that's like, you know what, when you're doing it right, you are, it sounds like clapping and dancing and singing, and all of this other stuff, ladies in France, and it's like, and then when we get on film, well, I say that that was happening when TV sets were being dished up to the population of people out in the United States. I don't know where it happened first. Does any of us? But they were all dancing and singing like, hey, right? And I think it's just weird. Again, despite all that I went through, this is, oh, it's so fucking strange. All I could do is keep myself fed well. I'm getting some good food and keep my fuzzy animals close and hope that I can get some help here and say, babes, can you help me out a little bit? I don't want it to be that one person sends me $50 or $100, even though it has happened before, and you guys, you know how to live, I would be the same way, of course, that's what people can use, people want to see $100, man, because that's a whole bill. I mean, right? We all have a $100 bill that we're looking at, right? It's just all went up. It includes a $5 apple. So, but no, that's what I think that I know of, like, if 400 people are watching this and they give me 25 cents, it's more like it, right? Because that fucking money is hooked into a diabolical presence, and it doesn't even make you feel good enough to say, that's a great idea, yeah, just 25 cents, fuck you, or something. I don't know, it is so gross. I'm just, wondering if anybody else feels the same way. Comment section down below. Sorry, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'll get over being rendered up the reverse, right? Like, okay, so it's like this. You probably, if you're a loner, if you're a genuine loner and you were supposed to be a loner, you didn't end up a loner. You were so around a bunch of people, you just feel like you got to really entertain, and you like, and all you can think is all I want to do is be alone, but you can't. That's what I mean. It's like it's weird how it flips on you a little bit, right? A lot. The whole thing, the whole paradigm. Really. And something is in the background just laughing at it because they are so successful. It's just very simple how they did it. How that they reversed things on you. And oh, they've stolen your upper spectrum. It shows in your language. It's the flatline, lowercase, base, waist. That's a big problem. I figured it out, babes. Nothing is going to be solved until that little bitty thing is fuck, babes. It has everything to do with everything, especially your perception and how you've raised yourselves up into the better place of vibrational frequency. Really, I'm talking now. Okay, thanks. For listening to this. See, I am being so strong and just saying, fuck it. I'm trying to sell some cabinets right now. They're just cabinets that say Marshall and PV amplifiers, and I'm hoping that somebody will pay $60 for that stuff. It's like, thanks for humoring me, but good for them, you know. Maybe I'm pretty sure something better is coming for me than worrying about losing stuff like that. That's just, I don't know, people are doing things with their money. It's like, well, that's one of the things I was going to talk to you about. Maybe I'll talk to you about it later, but how that people do make money and then they spend it on shit. And people could really use that money. See, that's the problem. Is why that there's such national debt. It's because they're stupid people. Basically, too many. Sorry.